Donald Trump, whatever your personal perception or political perception of him may be, understood something early on. And indeed, he said to me in an interview that I did with him, I don't need you guys anymore. Me, anchors, network gatekeepers. I've got, whatever the number was at the time, 16 million people on Twitter. And, well, now it's tens and tens of millions of people. And the fact of the matter is, love him or hate him, Donald Trump understood something that the rest of us came to understand far too late. So, in the age of Trump, he's still going to have access to his 60 million people on Twitter and Facebook. How do you deal with that?
He knows cable news probably better than any of us do and knew how to manipulate it. I also think that Trump is the most damning and depressing counter-argument to, Greta, your argument that people, if just presented with both sides, will choose what is good for them, because he presented the most extreme, almost caricaturish version of fear-driven, anxiety-driven propaganda.
I don't want to defend Trump, but I'm telling you, there's enough fear-driven on both sides. You know, and you say you don't want to hear both sides, and I certainly don't want to be in a position of defending him or going after him. But I'll tell you is that, you know, people have so taken sides in the news that we are not giving a fair and good, balanced, deep presentation so that people aren't crazy on both sides.
Do we really want to put this in the on the one hand, on the other hand?
No, there is no.
There were certain.
No, there isn't a one hand and the other hand. I mean, a lie is not a one hand or the other hand. If someone gets something wrong, but if you look, I mean, look at the first day of the Trump presidency. It was just so absurd. Trump's fighting about how big his audience is or how many people appeared. That was probably one of the most absurd, stupid arguments you could have. And then 10 minutes later, Time magazine puts out that when the pool reporter goes into the Oval Office, that the Martin Luther King bust has been removed, which tags Trump as a racist, because no sooner is Obama out of the office than he gets rid of the bust. Well, that was false. That was a mistake. Corrected soon by Time magazine. But there's enough sins on both sides, you know, that we need to sort of clean up this journalism thing.
I think you're grossly misstating the equivalence between the two sides.
I'm not saying it's equivalence. I'm just saying we've got to clean up a mess.
But that question, is there an equivalence, is important because it structures how you respond to the status quo. So if you believe that Trump and news outlets make similar errors in judgment or make similar ideological errors,
I'm not saying I'm just saying similar errors. I'm saying they're both making errors and they're both contributing to a very disheartening situation.
But the more relevant question is, what is the bigger threat?
Hear this voice from the past. There was a day when broadcast journalists really did not think it was their place to present arguments. We tried to present facts in as unbiased a way as we could, in the hope that the American public would derive from that what it needed to make arguments. The minute you get into the business of becoming a proponent of one side or the other, you have automatically lost half the American public, which is what's happened.